So we are in Capital Factory and the deck. They are our gracious hosts every week on Wednesday morning. Who here is new? Who's here for the first time? Great, good number. We love seeing new people, and we love our return attendees as well. So if you enjoyed today, we'd love to get your feedback. If you don't enjoy today, we'd still love to get your feedback, because we're looking forward to growing our audience, and we'd love for this to go word of mouth as well. So please do connect with us. We are a volunteer-run organization. This organization is actually very large. It's in 182 cities. It first started in Kansas City, Missouri, came out of the Kaufman Foundation, and the goal was to build community. And so the purpose was to make sure that we would connect with as many local business owners as possible by inviting them to attend a weekly event where they could connect and pitch their business and then have questions and answers and get feedback so that they could grow their business in the best way possible. And so the first event started off with only a few people, and it continued to grow. And it started in Dallas 5 years ago. The deck introduced this program, and as I said, it's a volunteer-run organization. So we do have a team of 6 people, and I am one of the organizers. So you'll see us around here taking pictures and doing many other things. And so our purpose is to inspire you all and to grow this community. We also have an app, so we'd love for you to check in there. You can see who else is attending, and there you can actually leave feedback. So the people who come on stage and pitch for 6 minutes, and then they answer the questions that you all have, when they leave here, they don't want to leave here without knowing, did you guys get anything out of it? And we also would love to know, did the presenter themselves get, valuable information? So the goal is for everybody to respond there. So if you can do that, we would love for you to help us out, please. Thank you. Yeah, we have one person that checked in. I still need to check in, so I promise I will do that. So what you're going to see here today is you're going to see 2 presenters. Each one will come on the stage and they will speak for 6 minutes. We have a timer, which is kept up at the front. We'll put up a sign that says 1 minute left to continue, and then 15 seconds. And we will start clapping. It's nothing personal. We just stick to that strict timeline. And then we will run the mic, so please wait until the mic comes to you to ask your question, because we want to make sure you pick up the sound on the video that is behind us here. So real quick, before I transition into our presenter, I should mention that for those of you who don't know the difference between Capital Factory and the deck, Capital Factory is a for-profit organization that's in the business of really, driving entrepreneurship, and they help small startups to connect with venture capitalists and also really to provide mentorship. So if that's something that you're interested in knowing more about, they will be giving tours here at about 10:20. So Kevin will be the guy who will give the tour. And the deck is your first go-to place as an entrepreneur. If you're not really sure where to start in Dallas, you're not sure how to, how to set up your business even. You want to connect with the deck because they have a ton of resources for you, even if if you've had your business for 1 year, or if you're still in that stage of idea concept, you don't know where to go, that's your first point of contact. Okay, so I'd like to introduce our first presenter. Her name is Adi, and her company is Rosa Es Rojo. Let's welcome her with a round of applause. We always stand up and we clap our hands for our presenter, so I'd love for you to join me in doing that. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. How are you? Good. Well, I'm so happy to be here today with all of you. I'm Aide Granados, founder and CEO of Rosa Es Rojo. And I love to see happy faces around me, just like yours. But I also love to see these happy faces. Allow me to introduce Isela, Angelica, Dalia, Chayito, Karime, Rocio. Even though they are smiling, they are dealing with big challenges, and they are Latinas living around us. Cancer, obesity and overweight, autoimmune disorders, low self-esteem, and they have shown us that we can grow and flourish thanks to those adversities. In North Texas, we are around 750,000 Latinas living and ready to grow and flourish for all the daily life's adversities that we have. And let me tell you this. 5 years ago, I was driving on a highway in beautiful California, close to Napa, when I received a phone call. And it was my doctor. And he told me that I had cancer, a very rare case of breast cancer. And even though I had an amazing medical team, a lot of resources from the hospital, in less than a week I was in chemo, and then I had my double mastectomy, radiation, but I couldn't find resources and information in my own language and also in my own cultural context. Something was missing there. So that's why later I learned that 1 out of 3 Latinas living in the state will have cancer during their lifetime. That was a shock for me. I was part of the statistics. But I also learned that among the 90 and 95% of all cancer cases in the world have roots in the lifestyle. So that's why Rosa Es Rojo was born, to make wellness and cancer prevention accessible for the Latinas living in the US, starting in North Texas, by training them on the topics of nutrition, physical activity, emotional health, and positive thinking. For us, that's the formula for a healthy lifestyle. We have been doing this since 2 years ago, thanks to our educational model called the Rojo Way, the Red Way. And it's like a path that the Latinas are walking, we are walking with them. It's shared 100% in Spanish, thanks to our on-site workshops, one-on-one support sessions, conferences, and also we have all the technological resources that we offer them through the digital platforms that we have. As you can see, they just can start like a small, maybe a little, and once they are walking through this path, we have a graduation at the end, and they can grow and flourish. And they are also ready to create this ripple effect, just to touch the lives of all other people around them. We are using a specific methodology in the design and also when we are facilitating our workshops and sessions. That's called accelerated learning methodology. Thanks to that methodology, our participants can practically apply immediately what they are learning with us after this is ended. So that's the way that we are creating this ripple effect. We have a lot of activities, fun activities, also all the social interaction is not a lecture, and they have this opportunity to be in a real world immersion, because we can go to the supermarket with them, so they know what to do after this training and the Rojo Way end. We also have seen that this is an effective solution. We have measured and asking some of the participants that we have, and 60% of them, they have said that they are touching the lives of at least 4 other people besides themselves. So we know that it is not only the Latinas that are working with us, but also the people around the community, co-workers, families. Also, we know that 92% of the participants can apply immediately. And here I'm just remembering Leticia, one of our participants. We were with her 3 weeks ago. She was cooking in her kitchen with her 4 girls, lentils with cactus. You know, even when economic resources are limited, this is not an obstacle in order to have a healthier lifestyle. And that's why we are teaching and also learning with them. 100% of our participants recommend also the Rojo Way. And this is just an example. When we read this, it's in Spanish, but I'm gonna translate it for you. The letter that Rocio just wrote to one of her donors saying how her life has changed from negative to positive in order to be a good mom, a better person for her and for her family. That's when we at Rosa Es Rojo say, I mean, this is the right thing to do with the Latino population here. So far, we have touched the life of 370 families, and we want to touch the life of 600 more next year. We are going to end this 2018 attending 80 more Latinas in the Rojo way, thanks to partnerships that we have with Avance, Batman Lay Together, Cancer Support Community, Mexican Consulate, among others. We are looking also for a board of advisors, partnerships with more others organizations, and to secure funds in order to operate and to make a reality the programs that we have. We want these women not only to survive, but to supervive, because we are the opportunity of reducing by 50% the cancer incidence among Latina here in North Texas. So thank you for joining us in this journey.
Very nice presentation. We will now open the floor to questions, and the first question is always, what can we as a community do for you?
Thank you so much for that question. Well, as I was sharing, we are just right now looking for growing the opportunity to touch the life of more Latinas here. So we are growing our board of advisors and directors. If you are interested in being part of this mission organization, we will be ready to talk to you. We want to secure funds in order to touch the life of 600 more Latinas by the end of 2019. For this coming year, we are in need of $280,000 in order to operate and also to be ready to implement the programs in the community. And all the collaborations that we can do with partners, that's a great resource for us, because we are filling a gap. So we know we have this wellness program in Spanish, in the cultural program, and we are, for example, working with Cancer Support Community. They have amazing program, but they don't know how to reach the Latino population. So that's where we are just working also with them. But also, there are some Hispanic organizations, but they don't have this wellness program that we have in order to reduce cancer and other chronic diseases. So that partnerships are so important for us.
Thank you. Is there any questions from the audience?
I love what you're doing. I had no idea that so much cancer was rooted in lifestyle. Do you have any studies that point to the type of exercise, the type of healthy eating, the type of mental health that can effectively reduce cancer incidence?
Yes, the National Center of Biotechnology Information here in the United States is the one that is leading that kind of research. And between 90 and 95% have roots in the lifestyle. So it's not the kind of exercise, of course a healthy diet, that is not only one diet, because it depends on the bio-individuality of each of us. So that's a key element. So what we are teaching them is to have wellness habits. For some people it's maybe to run a marathon or a half marathon, but maybe for other people it's just to go up and down from, I have stairs in my house. So that's the physical activity that we are doing. The same with the food. We respect a lot the beans and tortilla that we, for example, have in our culture. But we teach them how to read labels, how to avoid toxic ingredients. I don't want high fructose corn syrup. I prefer some more natural, honey. And the same with emotion, not only with the food, but we also, we are very emotional, the Latino community, but we are teaching how to be also to feel well in order to be well. So we have seen those results from research and also with living testimonies about how the life can change, how better you will feel if you follow this wellness and healthier lifestyle. Thank you. Mike.
Hello, great job presenting today. I'm Michael, you know me.
Thank you, Mike.
So would you tell us a bit about how you're getting access to Latinas, because it's a giant population here, but for now, it looks like 600 is your target for next year, so you must be targeting somehow. Tell us how you're doing that. What group are you pursuing, and then how are they the right ones for your program?
Okay, well, first I wanted to share that according to the Census Bureau, 38% of the population here in Texas are Hispanic or Latino roots, okay, with roots. At the beginning of Rosa Es Rojo, we were just, word of mouth, social media. But we have seen that the partnerships are very powerful because they have this population that they are attending. So when we partner with the Mexican Consulate or Bachman Lake together, we are working together in order to give them not only the wellness program, but also the programs that they are already offering. So we have seen a very powerful impact in those communities. They call them, and we are there in their house. So instead of doing the workshop in a venue that is not related to the participants, we are there with them in their houses. So they are not afraid of being, we just were in Batman Lake together 2 days ago, working with 25 Latinas, amazing group. So I just also wanted to complement that question, Mike, saying that most of them have economic resources limited. So, and the legal status, we don't know and we don't ask about it. So they really need that support. Even when maybe there is a big hospital that can offer some resources, sometimes they are afraid to go. So when we walk with them, they don't feel alone. They just feel that they have that support. Definitely we refer. We understand our scope, That's why the partnerships are also very, very powerful. We identify, when we are working with them, some other topics, very difficult. Let's say domestic violence, that we are not going to resolve. That's not our mission. So but we can refer them with this amazing organization. So we are just working all together, just to make them to feel better and to be better. Because we are the majority of the minorities here in the States, so it's important to do it. Okay? Thank you, Michael.
How are you expanding beyond Dallas? Is that a plan, or you just want to stay local?
Of course, that is a plan, and it is, thank you, Isabel. It's part of our mission in the U.S., starting in North Texas. So we are starting in North Texas, and we know that there are a very important Hispanic Latino population in LA, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Florida. So this is a program that can be replicated. And why also we are going to be interested in replicating this, because according to the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas, every dollar spent in cancer prevention leads to $23 of cost in treatment cost savings. So prevention works. Prevention works.
Sorry,
every dollar spent or invested, I prefer to say, in cancer prevention leads to $23 in treatment cost savings. Okay? So every dollar that I invest here, I'm saving the system $23.
Put that in your pitch.
I will.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Amazing. Thank you, Mike.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm back here.
Yeah.
How are you propositioning this? I know a lot of times communities who might not be able to afford healthcare have home remedies or something of that sort. How are you putting this out there for them as an alternative to ways that they might have tried in the past, or family remedies or something like that?
Okay. Well, the partnerships are very powerful for that also. So let's say that this year we are working with United Way. We are part of the ground floor cohort for 2018-2019, and that is helping us in order to, give scholarships and also sponsorships, and also individual contributors that they want just to be close with the Latino community to help them. Another thing that we are implementing right now is something called the Pay It Forward initiative. So even when they are receiving a scholarship, they don't have money to pay the Rojo way, but at the end, they can give back. Some of them, they just give back maybe $1, $5, $20, or some of them are volunteers. But that's the way that we are just continuing having these available for the population that cannot afford and they don't have some other resources.
I have a question, and I have to say I was late, so you
may have covered that. Could you share the makeup of your current board and talk about the qualities that you're looking for in your advisors that you're looking for?
Thank you. Your name is?
Wael.
Wael? Wael. Well, we are growing our board of directors right now. Rosa Es Rojo, as I shared, started because I am a breast cancer survivor, and started like a family and friends kind of non-profit. So this year, as part of Ground Floor, we have, this is one of our main milestones, to have an active board here in North Texas. What we are looking is a person, women or men, ready to serve a minority population and also to be passionate about the wellness topic, okay? So we have all these job description, or let's say like activity description for the board, with all the, let's say, skills or, interest that we are looking for. So I would love to share that with you in case you are interested or to know other people interested as well. Okay.
We have time for a few more questions.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
What does your exit process look like? Like, how long are they in the program? Do you walk with them through the entire treatment? What does that kind of look like?
Okay, let me put this for you. I just wanted to, Stephanie, it's not only the treatment, that's very important because this is a good question because we are working with the Latinas because because we are Latinas living here, we are in this high risk cancer group, okay? So yes, we have patients that they are on treatment, but we have also just, healthy Latinas that they don't want to be there because we are talking about prevention. So this Rojo way, it depends on each person, but the workshops that, I don't have the laser, but it's 12 hours of on-site workshops, and then we have 3 hours of one-on-one support sessions that we are with them, so this is 15 hours. And then they can just graduate. So it depends on each participant, how fast they can be in the workshops that we are offering, how available are for the one-on-one sessions, and then at the end they can have this graduation. So we are planning to have one graduation in December, like winter, and then one during the summer, May, July. So we are gonna be able to graduate. By the end of this 2018, we will have 80 more Latinas graduating from the Rojo Way. This is equivalent to more than 2,400 hours of direct training. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was our final question for this part of the show. Thank you so much for all your questions, and thank you so much for
Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thanks for all your questions, everybody. So this is a moment where we'd like to take a pause and just, thank our sponsors. So I mentioned that we're in Capital Factory and the Deck. We thank them for continuing to be our venue every single week. We also want to thank our video production and cameraman, which is Michael Bruner. He runs a company where he does a lot of video production and he's a creative. So if you get a chance, you do want to connect with him, especially if you've got interest in doing something really fun. And even if it includes doing a fun video with your family, he's got some ideas he can share with you. And thank you to Dallas Baptist University for being with us all month. They are keeping us caffeinated. So we say a huge thank you to continuing to be here with us. And we'd love to hear from you. So if you want to take the stage, Stephanie, please tell us what you're up to at DBU and how you guys are involved with entrepreneurship.
Hi, good morning. My name is Stephanie. I am the graduate advisor for the Masters of Science in Information Technology and Management program. And our program is a lot like you. We are a startup program within the Dallas Baptist University, one of the first technology programs that are a part of our school. And so what we are hoping to do here in the future is get a system of working adults, people who are in the community, startup entrepreneurs, coming into our program and really learning what it looks like to serve the community. As you know, probably many of you know, it's a Christian-based, a faith-based school. And what we hope for every student coming through is that they just learn how to serve well through servant leadership. And so our program is really a concept of business, leadership, and technology classes and courses, and from that you'll be learning a lot of how to interact with other people, just growing with students, and just reaching out to your community and realizing how you can help them. And so that's what our program does. If you have any questions or information about that, we actually have 3 students here today. 2 of them are graduating in December, which is really neat. So they've been through the entire program and they know a lot about what we do and what we stand for. So if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. We're just here to connect, really encourage and support you guys as you start your different endeavors, and hope that we can be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. If you haven't checked in already, we do have the app, the 1 Million Cups. We'd love for you to check in there. And you only have 24 hours. We don't set that, it's set in Kaufman. So sometimes it's still there after 24 hours to give the feedback. But I always say you're better off to do it now, because if you wait till tomorrow, you're going to forget. So if you look at the app, you'll see it just walks you through, and it really takes like 5 minutes, not even 3 minutes, I'll say. We do have free co-working after this event. Capital Factory does offer that. It is in this space. I mean, you can hang out here and use these desks, or you can use the virtual reality space, which is in the back on this first level, and then the open area, which is like right behind the restrooms on the other side of the kitchen. Conference rooms, I do want to mention, are closed. Those are all private spaces. You have to book them and rent them. And same thing with the second floor, it's also private. There are offices up there. Capital Factory does offer a tour, so for anybody who's interested in seeing this 20,000 square foot amazing place, just make sure that you see Kevin down here at the front. He's waving his hand at the front desk. Kevin will be there at about 10:20, and he can give you a tour and really educate you on what Capital Factory is doing and how they potentially can help you if you have a tech startup. And also for anybody who does stay for co-working, whether or not you do a tour, we do ask that you check in with who's ever sitting at the front desk, which will likely be Luna. They just need to know who's here as a security, really, instead of just like, if anything was to happen, they really need to know who's in here. Okay, so please, we ask you to check in. So those are it for my announcements right now. I do want to welcome our next presenter to the stage. His name is Nolan, and we also will welcome him with a round of applause. Nolan, please come onto the stage, and let's talk about Clemens.io.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Oh, change screen, okay.
We'll start having that.
Okay, welcome, I'm Nolan Clemens. Today I'm going to be telling you a bit about chatbots and how they can be applied for social media marketing. Real quick, if you want to follow along, either in real time or on your own time, how many of you have the Messenger app on your phone? So if you open that, then you open the camera and hold on the screen. And we could do this at the end, but if you're interested in trying it out, you scan this code and it'll take you straight there. So I'll give you guys a few minutes, or I can come back to this, I guess. But a bit about myself is that Clemens.io, that is a growth marketing and lead generation agency. I'm also on the Forbes Dallas Business Council, and I've been in a variety of publications, primarily marketing focused. So how many of you have a general idea of what a chatbot is? Okay, so quite a few of you, which is good. So there's several types of chatbots. Most of what you probably interacted with are web plugins, like Intercom or Drift on websites, and those can be anything from frequently asked questions to support, or even sales and marketing. Next, you have, how many of you use Slack or Discord? Okay, yeah, so awesome. So you can program custom plugins to be used on those platforms as well. What we're going to be talking about today, though, is the Facebook Messenger platform and bots on there. And what's so special about Facebook Messenger? Well, A, it's part of Facebook. B, it has, now, when I looked this number up, back in 2017, it had probably gone to 1.5 billion active users on the Facebook Messenger platform. And the main advantages of this is that it combines the instantaneous nature that you find with instant messaging and text messaging or SMS with the rich media of social media and email. So you get the best of both worlds, and really what bots are about, because a lot of people focus on the artificial intelligence component, which in my opinion it's not quite there yet. It's not fully automated. A human has to tell the machine what to say to people, but it's conversational marketing. So you're having a conversation with what may appear to be a real person, but it's automated so that it doesn't require as much resources as having a team for customer support. You can still partially have human elements in there. And essentially it acts as a test rec. I don't know how many wrinkle of time fans we have, but essentially that means default space. And essentially the way traditional online marketing funnels work is that they have you, they might do some paid traffic, and they bring you to a landing page, and you fill out a form, and hopefully that form doesn't have too many fields, because the more fields you add to the form, the lower the conversion rate will be. Or that you provide their email to get a free ebook or a PDF guide or something, and then they send you that email. So just in those few steps, it's very easy for potential customers to fall out of that funnel, and it can be hard from an analytics standpoint to tell where did they drop off. The Facebook Messenger chatbots allow you to fold that, where you can do most, if not all, of those steps within Facebook Messenger. And the other bonus is that so far they've had superior open and click-through rates than email. And email is still, as old as it may be, it's still one of the most powerful marketing channels, so that's saying a lot. Here's an example of how a funnel would look for a restaurant client that I built a chatbot for, Pokebop. I don't know if anyone's been there, but they have 2 shops here in Dallas. But you can obtain subscribers or users of the chatbot organically from your Facebook page. When they click on the send message button, they press the get started, and it starts whatever sequence you have in place. You can run Facebook ads with the Messenger objective, which can be quite ineffective and a cost-effective way to acquire subscribers and thus customers from that. And you can also have a Facebook Messenger plugin on your website. So there's a variety of sources, and within that sequence, there's multiple things that we want them to do, but the main point, the goal is we want them to buy something. In this case, they can either order to go or delivery. And in the case of retail businesses and restaurants, they can drop out completely and just show up to the restaurant. And that's actually one of the challenges that all retail businesses have. Attribution isn't completely there, which is why they rely on offers in order to tell who, what's working. And so a comparison, like I said, the open rate. So if you can see the top box, those are 2 email campaigns we did back in June and August, and those had 30 and 50% open rates, which is actually pretty good as far as email marketing goes. But then you look at the broadcast that we did, that ended up having an open rate of about 90%, which is triple of the first one and almost double of the other one. And then the click-through rate was about half of that, which is 45%, which is insane from a marketing perspective. So at this point, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. I mean, there are some restrictions that we can go over, but
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. We will open the floor up to questions, but the first question is always, what can we as a community do for you?
So if you know, how many of you are marketers by trade, or you own a business at least? So if you know someone that's relying on an online marketing funnel, or if they are interested in chatbots, you should really just ask them about it and see if it makes sense to them, or find, or what I'm asking for is information to see what their opinions on it are, what other marketing channels are they using to see if it would be effective. Is anyone getting it?
That was hard.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Questions, please raise your hand and we'll bring you the mic.
So specifically, what do you consider an open rate when you compare the email marketing to messenger marketing?
So in that case, there's some restrictions to it. So email's pretty laissez-faire, same way for text. With Messenger, so there's a thing called the 24+1 rule, where in a sense, you can send a user as many messages within a 24-hour window. After that, you only get one promotional message. Now, you can do updates to subscription messaging as much as you want, but so when we send the +1 promotional broadcast, which can be months later, depending on the thing, that's what I'm referring to, the open rate. Because people get a notification, and really the main advantage of it is that they're on their phone. So, for the past couple of years, there's been a revolution in businesses focusing on the mobile experience first. And particularly for retail, that's a must-have. What were they doing 10 years ago? They'd send you, if it was your birthday, they'd send you a coupon to your email for you to print out, which isn't the most convenient thing. Thanks to phones, you can open that up. But the other component to this, which I didn't necessarily cover, is that using mobile wallets, how many have the KeyPass app on your iPhone? So what they use, like if you have a ticket to a sporting event, you can make your own KeyPass for your own business, which can be quite powerful at times.
Good morning, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
So would you talk a little bit more about how your business is going to make money, scale up, the core of the value proposition, and kind of your game plan for the coming years in terms of building this business? That'd be great to hear.
Oh, so thank you. That's a good question. So in terms of clients that have a need or that want the value of it, there's a certain set fee for building the bot. However, that's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on building long-term value for them, because it can be a good way for them to get new customers, but the real value lies in giving them the ability to retain customers over a course of time, or otherwise known as retention. So I forget what the statistic is, but if someone buys something or goes somewhere 3 or 4 times, they're a customer for life. How many of you go to a business at least once a month or regularly? Yeah. So how much? The real question is for the return on the investment, because there's a cost to software and technology involved in this process, and then the other cost is a service. So for businesses, it can be pretty effective for them to get a return on both of those investments, including Facebook cost of Facebook ads, of course. If we can quantify how much does a seat at a table at a restaurant cost them, or if there's multiple people, how much does a table cost them, and how much do they have to pay for that? And as long as the cost that they had to pay for that is lower, then it's effective as a marketing channel.
All right, we have a question in the front.
Thanks. How are you marketing your business to what companies are you typically targeting? Are you taking a niche and focusing on restaurants? And how are you marketing yourself?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So restaurants are, because I'm not having to reinvent the wheel each time. I think that may start becoming my niche, but another niche is realtors. And for them, it's the ability for potential customers to look at multiple houses within the chat window and not having to go to a website or really just pull their Zillow listings in there if they're selling houses or they're helping people buy houses. So that's one thing. And then as far as how am I marketing, using a combination of content, my website comes up. Actually, I've changed that. I should have looked that up. But yeah, here's my contact information. So content marketing, that's something I've invested in and I'm starting to reap the benefits of. And then the other things, my specialty is outbound lead generation. So getting a list of restaurants, in this case, qualifying them, what is their price point? You know, are they high end? In that case, those are the ones I want to target. I approach them directly, find their email, find their phone number. And the other thing about specifically this is that it's kind of a blue ocean. In the sense that not everyone has a chatbot. And I can instantaneously go to your Facebook page, press the chat window, and if I don't see it get started, I know you don't have a chatbot yet. And so I ask you, you know, why don't you want superior open rates to email? You know, and ask them that, so to make sure they understand the value.
I'm just thinking right now that you're on your own. Are you on your own, or are you growing?
I have done that. I don't have 8 arms, so I can't do that on my own. But I do have a few people that I'm working with. Some here in Dallas, some overseas. And this is kind of an open secret, but for some tasks, particularly that are on the computer, virtual assistants are amazing because the cost is, like, let's say $5 an hour, which is below what the minimum wage is here. But in those countries, you can get a pretty good skill level for that amount. And then the time zone arbitrage is another benefit because when I'm about to go to bed, they're just now waking up, and so I give them tasks. They can complete them. When I wake up, they're almost wrapping up. So it works pretty well.
So what type of restrictions are you running into with Facebook?
Well, so if you guys remember the controversy they had with a few months ago, one consequence of that is they closed down submissions to the Messenger platform for bots. Fortunately, I already had the pages connected to that, so it didn't affect me. But they had a moratorium on that, so that was one. Another restriction. This hasn't happened to me, but there's multiple vendors for building Facebook chatbots, and someone they probably broke a rule or something, but they tried to log in and all their bots were gone, especially ones that they were building for clients. So having a contingency plan for that, that's key. Another one is just the restriction, the 24+1 rules, because they don't want necessarily people sending out messages for free. They don't want people spamming, because then people will turn off the notifications and won't be effective, and a few other things. So fitting within those rules, and one way is to be indirect about it. Like, have you heard about our new menu item? So you're asking a question. Once they engage, the 24, that whole cycle starts over. Yes, asking them a question, they're going to say yes to, or it's hard to say no. So it's kind of like double dribbling in basketball, essentially. Once you're out of your dribble, you have to shoot or pass it. And some people drop out of the funnel, but it's relatively easy to get them to re-engage.
Nolan, you made a statement saying that AI, somehow you cannot dissociate, if you will, between chatbots and AI, and in my mind they're really closely related. So could you elaborate on that statement you made that it's too early to talk about AI? Because I think at the core of chatbots is some kind of an intelligence that you have to have there so that you can replace a human reacting to certain triggers, if you will.
Yes, so until, one subset of artificial intelligence is machine learning, until all the machines figure out basic human interaction, you're going to, the people that like me that build bots, we're going to have to tell them when someone mentions this keyword, like let's say vegan. I say, do you have a question? They ask a question, oh, were you talking about our dietary options? And then you walk them through that. So you have to think in advance of what people are going to ask about and how you can train your bot to be able to detect that. Right now, you can use keywords, and they could be saying something the exact opposite of what you programmed it to do, so it's always an issue. But we'll just have to wait and see, let the technology progress. But once it does get to that point, it's going to be amazing, because some customers, they're not going to be able to tell the difference, which can be good for businesses and marketers, but as a consumer, maybe it won't be. So that's an issue we're going to learn.
The flip side of that, what you're saying, today's state of the art can be frustrating.
some consumers, because if whoever developed the chatbot, if they're not thorough enough to envision all of these scenarios, actually that can backfire more or less. And I'm speaking from experience. I mean, I'm not going to name the airline. It's a European airline that I had a bad experience with in Dubai, and I was coming back here, and I couldn't talk to anybody but the chatbot, and actually they would never understand what I was talking about. So what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, is because we don't have a perfect AI system and a machine learning system in place, we're going to have to rely on very, very effective chatbot developers who can envision all scenarios possible. Is that a fair statement? And is that a byproduct of that, or a side effect of that, is frustration that you may leave with some customers?
I mean, it's mostly accurate. I mean, the quick solution is you have an option where if they don't understand the question to ask, do you want to talk to a human? And they press that button, and then someone gets a notification. Because really, it acts, kind of as a filter, so that not all the support reps are getting inundated with requests. So that to answer your question, that's the first solution. But yes, as we learn, because the Facebook Messenger for bots on the Facebook Messenger platform has only been out for maybe a year or two. So as we learn about each business type, whether that's airlines, restaurants, or whatever the need is, people figure out best practices and what to do in those situations.
We have time for one more question. I'll take the opportunity to ask the final question. Where do you see chatbots going in the future? May it be AI or VR, whatever trendy keywords you want to throw out there.
Well, one of the biggest advantages, I didn't mention this, is this platform called Zapier. I don't know if anyone's heard of that. Okay, so it allows other platforms to connect their APIs to each other, which is what I use a lot. Is if I collect their email, if they say I'd rather get an email than a chatbot, doing that. But that's one area that apps can talk to other apps. The second one is that I'd like to see personally is more voice, vocal component to chatbots. Because what if I'm driving? For example, me driving on my way over here, I don't necessarily want to look at my phone, for safety issues. But if I could verbally ask, hey, what's the best way to get here? Should I take the tollway or 75? And for that to be, in some cases, some apps may already be at that point. But especially for businesses, like you ask Google Maps, where can I find pizza? And Google showed this at one of their things. They had a robot talk to someone on the phone to book a table or order a pizza. So giving the restaurants the ability on their side to be able to interface with sophistications like that is going to be huge, in my opinion. So thank you guys for coming out. I hope you got something out of it.
Thank you. Okay, well, thanks to our community. We thank all of you for being here. This is just a quick slide to show you our team and our social handles. We'd love for you to stay in touch. And we actually send out a newsletter every Monday. If you're not getting it, it's because you haven't actually registered on the 1 Million Cups website. There is also a ton of other cities, so if you wanted to follow those cities, you could do that as well. Anybody have any questions for me at all? No? Okay. Well, we're glad to have you here. You are welcome to stay. Just make sure that if you're going to stay beyond this zone and more than 20 minutes, that you check in at the front desk. And again, there will be a tour at 10:20 with Kevin. And that's it. Meet somebody new. Don't just run out of here because you came here with a purpose, right? Yeah, you're welcome. It's important to connect. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next